Hello and welcome to Long Branch. Today's segment for the Tree Fest is about our beautiful heritage trees. Heritage Trees in Long Branch, founded in 1884, was literally founded on the tremendous wealth and richness of the trees in the area. We're going to study three heritage trees today, a red oak and two red oaks, I should say, and a silver maple that are important in terms of their beauty, their age, and their historical significance to the area. Question that's often asked about heritage trees is what makes a good heritage tree. First of all, it's the tree itself has to be of mature age. It has to have a healthy bark. It has to be free of stress around its roots. And it needs a beautiful canopy and an overall health of the tree. Second is the historical and location of the tree. And historical can mean its geographical location to specific historical events or to people of note in the area. And today's three trees all have those particular criteria. So let's get on with the tour. Hello again. We're on the Heritage Tree Walk of Long Branch, and this one is called Stop 26. First question is, what is Stop 26? Well, the story is that this beautiful silver maple tree was just behind the great gates of Pine Beach and the Pines. And this was an entrepreneur beyond belief of a businessman that saw an opportunity to develop residential lots in Long Branch. His name was Colonel Frederick Burton Robbins. And I'll tell you a few other things about him a little bit later. But his idea was, here is a tremendous amount of land in western Toronto, untouched, and is ripe for development. He saw the trees, he smelled the air, and his whole campaign to lure people from Toronto into his area was based on health. In fact, what he did was, in the Toronto Star, he put an ad in, get my coupon and you can board the rail tram in Sunnyside, get the coupon and take it out to Stop 26, get off, and the first thing I want you to do is smell the air. That was his whole campaign. He had developed and bought land on the southern side of Lakeshore Boulevard from about 31st Street over to 23rd, as well as the entire north part from 32nd Street over to 22nd Street. Four areas: the beaches, the Pines, Lakeshore Gardens on the north side, and Lakeshore Gardens Annex. Colonel Frederick Robbins didn't stop in Long Branch, by the way. He bought land up in what's called Armour Heights, the middle of northern Toronto. And he made a lot of money in his development down here, as well as other places. He built a huge mansion in Armour Heights, which is still standing today, and it is now used by the Canadian Air Force College. He became friends with celebrities. The Dukes of Windsor, for instance, when they were stopping here to go to their ranches in Alberta. Amelia Earhart. Yes, Amelia Earhart was in Toronto for a short time. Her love of planes, and he had created an aerodrome just north of his Armour Heights home. Also, Billy Bishop. Probably know that person. These are all people in his circle of world, but More importantly, it all started with his financial and his vision to develop homes here in Long Branch. This tree is a testament, goes way back before he actually started in 1910. He had white gates at the mouth of at the beginning of the road into Long Branch developments, and the trail ram, which is only one rail at the time, would travel back between Port Credit and Sunnyside. So stop 26 it is. Just as a footnote, but Colonel Frederick Burton Robbins also was responsible in 1923 to bring back the colors of the Queen's Rangers. Colors of the Queen's Rangers was Lord Simcoe's Queen's Rangers. He brought them back to Toronto, and they are now proudly on display at the Fort York.
My name is Steve Vella, and we're very fortunate to have this beautiful silver maple in our backyard. It became a heritage tree a few years ago. Bill came to us with some of the history of the neighborhood and the tree and how its association with this development, and we thought it was a really great idea. And it's very nice to have the tree. We love the tree. When our family was first looking at purchasing the house, my wife and I came on the Saturday, and then on a Sunday, my daughter and I came, and we looked around at the house, and it was a nice house. And then we went into the backyard, and we're playing in the backyard. And with the tree and the backyard, and just the feel of the neighborhood and the surroundings, it was a done deal. The real estate agent was smiling inside the house. I could see her smiling. She knew she had made a deal. She didn't know why, but it was definitely because of this tree. It's a very important a part of the house, and we've had very good memories, very nice memories here in the shade of our tree.
This, what we call Big Red, was our very first heritage tree, and it was nominated and selected over 3 years ago. The reason this was the first in the series of heritage trees is because of its location. Just behind me is the cenotaph, which has honored the heroes, our fallen heroes from the First and Second World War and the Korean War. In 1884, when Long Branch Park was being developed, on the plans was a fountain square, which was on the 4 quadrants of the corners of Long Branch Avenue and Park Avenue. Later on, the area that again is south and further south from the cenotaph was where the famous Long Branch Hotel was built, the pavilions for picnics, the carousel pavilion, the water slide pavilion, and at the foot of Long Branch Avenue was the pier at which ships would come in from Toronto, Oakville, and the United States to enjoy the resources and the relaxation of Long Branch Park. Long Branch Park was developed because of its richness in trees that gave tremendous health benefits besides the calmness and the shade. The oxygen was something that was really looked after or looked forward to from the gentry coming from Toronto and other areas that were highly industrialized. In 1958, the Long Branch Hotel unfortunately suffered a great fire and was burnt down. This beautiful Big Red was saved because the winds were going to the south. Had it been going to the north, we may have lost the tree. This oak tree here is about 200 years old, and for weight-wise, weighs about the weight of 5 elephants. And it towers just as much as the 10-story building that's just to my left. Big Red, by the way, wasn't my suggestion, but when I was surveying for some trees, I was measuring this tree, and a gentleman came along. He was walking his dog, and I said, well, this tree's really nice. He says, you know, we had a couple other trees in the area, but we lost them to bad storms and lightning. But Big Red is still standing, so the name has stuck since that very day. Hello again. We have saved the best for the last. This is known as Titan from the Tree Amigos. From the sayings of the tiny acorn grows the mighty oak. So like the friendly giant always said, look up, look up, look way up. And here is Titan, proudly standing 120 feet into the air in Long Branch. The sapling date of this tree goes back to 1770, which was well before the Toronto Purchase, which was later in the 1780s. And that means that this tree has been witness to many, many historical events throughout Ontario: the colonization of Upper Canada, the Great Wars, World War I, World War II, and everything that has happened in between. This tree has survived because in 1883, the land of James Eastwood was sold to 4 businessmen for what is behind me, then the Seabreeze Resort, later named Long Branch Resort by Thomas Wilkie. What happened was that Eastwood decided to continue to lumber his property. It went to a sawmill on Etobicoke Creek, and it was turned into lumber and actually sold to England. That was the highest price for prize lumber such as oak, maple, ash, elm at the time. And of course, with the clearing of the land, he created his farm. So interestingly, that line is just about where I am standing now. If you look straight north, you can see a line of trees, of oaks, and if you look to the west, you'll see that suddenly there are no oak trees whatsoever. So this tree was just on the threshold of being a prized specimen for the sawmill. Later on, the tree behind me, the area was developed as Long Branch Park, and it's because of Long Branch Park that we have Long Branch. The trees were revered because of their forestry, because of their greenness, because of their relaxation, and because of their health benefits that great trees emit. Just instantly, we were talking about the size of this tree. It is about 120 feet high, and weight-wise, it is about the weight of one of the new flex cars, or the streetcar liners as I call them. They're 91 feet, and it's 100 tons. Now that's based on 1 cubic foot of oak, which is about 45 pounds. So this tree in lumber would create an enormous amount of lumber, and certainly a lot of money for the sawmill. But it didn't happen. Here it is. This is Titan, the friendly giant of Long Branch, and probably one of the oldest trees in southern Ontario.